What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Fight Within podcast. I'm solo today because Ben is out doing something and partying it up. No, I'm kidding. He's working out in Miami. He's actually coming back tonight, and we just want to get on here and make sure that we had something for you guys. Um, and so there's a phone call. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm solo today, and I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit recap of the previous episodes and just how dope they were. We'll go in depth more with that when we have when Ben and I record one. But I want to get on here and kind of talk about how cool it is to have a partner that has knowledge and strength in areas that may be your weaknesses. For instance, I'm like super organized. I'm really like anal and OCD, I guess, but I suck at executing things. Where Ben is I don't know how organized he is or whatnot, but he's like super just like really well and really good at execution and just like putting together a plan, executing and then getting it done and seeing it through. I am not that way. I'm really good at like coming up with ideas or talking about ideas and bouncing ideas off of each other. And I'm not saying that I can't ever develop that. It's something that I'm working on that I want to get better at. Um, but a lot of times, like with my business specifically, I've been like a solo act, and so sometimes my pride will get in the way when I want to do something, and I'm like, okay, in the sense that like if I need someone else, I'm like, no, I could figure it out. I'll do it by myself. And a lot of times, I would say the majority of the time, it's not a good idea. You know, you want to surround yourself with people that are better than you, that are more talented, that are smarter, that have had more success. And it's not always going to be the case, but and you're not going to be able to see those people every day. But if you can have like a core group of friends or people that you can communicate with on a pretty consistent basis that are where you want to be, then I feel like that's pretty important. I'm lucky enough to have that with Ben in our partnership with the podcast and kind of seeing what he does with other partnerships outside of the podcast and business. It's really neat to see. I'm fortunate to have access to him like that, and I have a friendship that developed, over a podcast. And then my men's group. I just went to one last night, but I've been going to one on Fridays for maybe since about September of last year, and it's now March, the end of March, and it's cool because there's it started out with maybe ten of us. Even before that, it was smaller before I joined, and now that it's kind of grown, it's neat to see how many people come from different churches. We're not all from the same church. We're not all from the same business or same industry. It's like it's not like meant to be a faith-based networking group, but it's kind of like that sometimes because a lot of the guys are entrepreneurs and have um have different businesses and different experiences in different fields, and so it's cool to hear them talk, to watch them interact, just to be around them and learn. I tend to, oddly enough, when I'm in like a group setting, I tend to kind of be quiet because I'm trying to soak it all in. Like I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to listen, I'm trying to see where I can interject. So it's funny that I'm trying to do, pursuing podcasting as a living, because like I said, when I get and by group I mean like it could be like four dudes or four more people. I tend to just want to learn. I want to grow. I feel like that's a lot of the times that's the best way to learn is just to shut up and listen. And so, to touch back on kind of what I wanted to focus on is how neat it is to have partnerships, and then when you have partnerships, I've never really had a partnership when it comes to business, because I don't trust a lot of people. I didn't grow up trusting a lot of people, and so there's always like this guard up, and now even talking to my wife and going through some of the things that we're going through, it's crazy how you just as a person can start identifying things that are wrong with you and really get to like the root of it, because it's not something that just happened now. It's something that you have to backtrack. It could be decades for some people, or years for some people, of like when those feelings started, or that posture, that attitude, how you carry yourself, what you think of other people. It's like, when did that start? And if you can pinpoint that, like I have anger issues, and not so much now, as not, I mean, I still have them, but not as bad. My episodes, I guess, aren't as bad as they were before. Where like before, when I was younger, it was automatically, let's get physical. It went from like, hey, I feel disrespected, to I'm now punching you in the face, and we're fighting. And I haven't really pinpointed where that started, where the root of it is. Obviously, there's insecurities there, and maybe fear, and you know, I'd have to really take a deeper dive into what that is. But you know, it's now the growth has started to happen. I'm 35 with 3 kids, and a wife, and I'm just now starting to be like, okay, I got to pinpoint this. It's like I tell my son, it's how you treat one thing is how you treat everything. So I want to make sure that in order to be successful with the podcast, in order to be successful with business, I want to make sure that I'm successful with myself first. Like I'm sure you guys have heard the saying, like, oh, if you don't love yourself, you can't love others. And so I'm trying to do that now with like my health. I still don't eat the best. I eat kind of crappy, and my wife is really on me about that. But it's like I've been working out. I'm trying to work out more, and really stay focused. I haven't worked out this, not, I wouldn't say hard, but this disciplined, since I fought. And I my last fight was like in 2015, 2016. And so it's been years since I was really like focused, and I was like, okay, I'm going to work out. And the reason it was easy for me to work out back then was because, there's a fear of like embarrassment. And then there's also like, you have a goal. There's something that's attainable. There's something that you want to accomplish, win a fight. Then so you're getting ready for that. So it's easy to go in and get your butt whooped and go train, and go to the gym, twice a day, and have 2 or 3 training sessions. And it's easy because, one, you're getting paid. You get paid more if you win. Two, it's your reputation almost. And three, you don't want to let your team down. You're scared of maybe failing or losing. And when you lose in that sport, it's your health is on the line. It's not like, nothing against basketball players, but it's not like basketball where it's like, okay, they scored more times than we did. Like, it's not that. It's you can really you can get knocked out, you can get choked out, unconscious. There's a lot of things that could happen, and you can break a limb, and so you don't want to go through that, and so that fear motivates you, um to go to the gym every day. And so now it's like I look in the mirror, and I'm like, okay, I want to be healthier. I'm fat. I'm the fattest I've ever been, and but I still feel great. I still feel nimble, and still can still move around. And so I try to tell myself, like, what? Why are you doing this? And then I look at my kids, and I'm like, I want to be here for my kids. One, but two, I want to be able to play with them. I'm only 35. I want to be able to move around, to play catch, to go to their games, to still be that energetic dad, that's there. And even for my grandkids, because I might be, I feel like I'll probably be a pretty young grandparent. And so, that's my motivation. And I feel like if I'm healthy, not just physically, mentally too, I'll be able to, that translates into the business world, that translates into podcasting, because podcasting is still very much a business. Like, we talk about it all the time, but we need sponsors. We need people to go buy our merch and support us that way. Like, we need support in different ways. And so that's what kind of, when we say it's what keeps the lights on, if you will, or helps pay the bills, it's we're at an office, just so you guys know. Even though it is hidden house, there's still like, Ben could easily rent this office space for 800 to $1,000 a month. And that's money that, not that he's throwing away, because he's investing into the podcast that he's a co-host slash partner in, you know, uh, but that's money out of his pocket every month. And so if we're not producing, if we're not, selling merchandise, if we're not selling t-shirts and hats and coffee mugs on the website, then we're not being productive. We're not doing our job. And it goes beyond that. We look at it, obviously our goal as a podcast and as a show has always been to to help other people, to be a platform for our guests, like we say, and a resource to our listeners. So like if one listener can get something from our podcast, then the reason we do this has kind of been reached or fulfilled. But I was talking to Steve Martin, who we've had in the past. We had him on a couple of times to talk about his triathlon. And big shout out to Steve. Get better. He just had hip surgery. Um, and he had brought up a good point. He's like, why are you doing it? And I was like, oh yeah, I just want to help people. And he's like, bullshit. He goes, I call bullshit. He goes, no, you want to monetize it. And he goes, and that's okay, but just be clear about why you're doing things. And I never thought about that. I felt like if I said, oh, I want to make money from it, it was like a sleazy car salesman way of me, trying to get people to listen or to get on the show. But when you identify it, it empowers you because now you know why you're doing it. Like yes, our heart is to help people. Our heart is to be, a positive in such a negative world. For people to know that there is hope. For people to know that there is a way to get out of whatever situation you're in. To go pursue the things that you want to go pursue. To work hard, to put your head down, to grind, all that good stuff, right? All that motivational crap. Yes, that is why we do it. But we also want to monetize. We also want to make money. This would be a dream of mine, would come true if we were making money podcasting. What I mean by making money is paying our bills, taking care of our family, being able to go on trips, like doing those cool things by doing this. And that's what my goal is. It's not that I don't like what I do, or I don't hate it. It's just if I can do this full time, that would be awesome. And it takes a village. It takes support. It takes people pouring into us. It takes people wanting to come on the show. It takes people going online and buying stuff from us. Go to the fightwithinpodcast.com and check it out. And it takes that. I want to do this for the long haul. I want to do it for a long time. I feel like everyone has a story to tell. And I know Ben's not here to kind of be like, oh yeah, but he feels very much the same way. Why we do this and how we do it can really change if we have the proper support. But to go back to what my point was, before I went on a tangent, it's by the way, it's so hard to just come on here by yourself and be like, all right, what are you going to talk about? What are your talking points? And so anyways, it's neat. It's neat to know that I can kind of be that other dude. Well, my co-host is gone. He's busy. He can't do it. He can't be here. Cool. I'll take care of it, and vice versa. I know that if there's any time that I'm not in town, that I can't do it, I know that Ben would step up and be like, hey, you know what? I'll either do something on my own or I'll have a guest. Um, and so it's cool to have that trust. He's shown up in so many ways for me, and hopefully I've done the same for him. And it's really cool to have that partnership. We've had our arguments and our disagreements and stuff like that, if you want to call them that, but it doesn't stop from what the end goal is. And so it's cool to finally have like another male, because I grew up with two brothers, but my wife told me straight up, she says, you have no conflict resolution skills at all. And I don't, because it was always like, hey, F you, you don't respect me, let's throw hands. And it was always like that. It was never like, okay, how do you feel? How do you feel? How are we going to resolve this? There's no talking. There's just, hey, let's get right to it. And if you don't agree, like, suck it. We're going to take care of it. And so the fact that I'm in my mid 30s and I'm just now starting to learn what conflict resolution is, it's pretty insane. But it's like everyone has their own path and their own journey, and so I want to grow, I want to get better, and it's neat to kind of go through this. And so when Ben and I have disagreements and stuff, it's like, hey, what I get to talk to my wife and say, hey, how would you handle this? how what do I talk to him about, whatever, and having someone like Ben to talk to, where it's just like, hey, bro, I know we're disagreeing, but let's talk. What's your point of view? What's my point of view? And how did I take it? How did I interpret it? And we've gone through some things, and feelings get hurt, and then we squash it. So it's cool, man. It's cool to know that he still wants to do this, that I still want to do this, that we still want to do it together. And we're gonna keep bringing you guys, hopefully, helpful and neat, episodes and cool guests. And with that being said, I'm gonna close it out because I gotta get out of here. I'm sure you guys gotta go do something. Maybe not. Um, but yeah, go check out the fightwithinpodcast.com. Go check out our merch. Go buy some t-shirts. I'm taking the sweatshirt down. I've gotten some comments and like messages about it, but I didn't like the way it turned out. So we're gonna make it better. I had a um what do they call, like a demo, like a sample. Like I had a sample shipped over and made. I didn't like it too much. We're remaking that, and so go check out the fightwithinpodcast.com. Go check out the merch. We have some pretty cool announcements with some new sponsors that are supporting us. We'll give you guys a coupon code and a couple cool guests that are coming up. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening every week. Thank you for the love and support. And remember that everything was impossible until someone did it.